Hey, what's up, everyone? It's the Lemesis, your nemesis, but you can call me Lem. Welcome to Just Another Cheesehead podcast. And I just want to let you know there is more to come. There's a lot more to come, a lot more losing to come. So we just saw the Green Bay Packers on the field against the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Packers lost 13-17. The game was in Las Vegas. Davante Adams got the one-up on us. The defense looked good, but weren't good enough. Neither was our offense nor our special teams. But one thing I will say is, when I was watching the game, I remember saying to myself, I also said this to my wife and to a couple friends as I was talking to them, that, man, it looks like the defense and the special teams is playing like Aaron Rodgers isn't on the field anymore. Like, he's not going to just come and save the day. Like, we actually have to play defense and we actually have to play special teams in order for our team to stay afloat. And that's what I thought we saw today. But because we're mediocre everywhere else, or technically below average, we're a below average team, it still wasn't good enough to beat a 1-3 Las Vegas Raiders team. So now the Raiders are 2-3, and so are the Packers. And if you guys went on if you remember my predictions for this season, this is not looking good. I picked the Packers over the Bears. I picked the Packers over the Falcons. We lost that game. I picked the Saints over the Packers. We actually won that game because Derek Carr got injured. I picked the Lions over the Packers. That happened. And I actually picked the Packers over the Raiders. And we just lost that game. So the rest of the season is really not looking good, guys. I had the Broncos over the Packers, the Vikings over the Packers, the Rams over the Packers, the Steelers over the Packers, the Chargers over the Packers, the Lions again over the Packers, the Chiefs over the Packers. I just need you to know, from week 7 to week 13 is rough. That's not looking good, guys. Go Pack go, but we are not winning. Then it's the Packers over the Giants. I originally had the Packers over the Bucks, but I don't think that's going to hold up. Packers over the Panthers, Vikings over the Packers, and then Packers over the Bears, because the Bears still suck. So Jordan Love, guys. Jordan Love. Don't we all love some Jordan Love? 16 completions, 30 attempts, 182 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I know some people want to make excuses for him. I will not. I said this before, and I'll say it again. He is not that guy. Purely by mathematics, it would be impossible for us to expect. It would be impossible for us to expect that we would have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back-to-back, from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. And the fact that we had those 2 guys back-to-back, and we only had 3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 Super Bowls to show for, is shame on you on the front office and that general manager, between, God rest his soul, Ted Thompson, and now you're a god-awful Brian Gutekunst. And I've been saying this before. If you guys really just listen to me, I need you to remember, I'm an owner, right? I'm not a hater. I'm an owner. I spent my money. I bought that little certificate, which means absolutely nothing but the pride and the green and the gold that runs through my veins. And I want to see us win. And what I'm tired of seeing on the field is mediocre performances. I'm tired of seeing this false sense of hope. And we had a lot of hope when we had Aaron Rodgers. And man, it sure is going to get old mentioning Aaron Rodgers as he continues to move on, and he retires, and he's no longer in the league. And it's just going to be wishful thinking, wondering what we could have done with all the opportunities. And when you have, a group of men together, unfortunately, egos get in the way. And I think that's what you see here with our team over the last 30 years. I think egos have gotten in the way. I think that we've mismanaged things. We've taken for granted how hard it is to win in this league. And I think we're seeing that unfold right now. This is not college football. This is not high school football. You get paid a lot of money in the NFL to perform. Even on the practice squad, right? None of us are getting paid thousands and thousands of dollars to work out, right? Those guys are getting paid thousands of dollars to work out. Yeah, they got to have a job, and it's not a guarantee. But, man, you get paid. And when you get paid, you have a responsibility to perform. And today, we did not perform. And all those years beforehand, when we had the opportunity, when we were in all of those NFC championship games, we did not perform. Those defenses didn't show up. Those offenses didn't show up. Those special teams let us down. And here we are. We're seeing it unfold. I tried to tell everyone from the very beginning of the season, I do not believe in Jordan Love. I do not believe in this team. It has nothing to do with Jordan Love. It just has to do with, he's an innocent bystander, to be honest with you, right? He's just a young kid. He's trying to make it to the NFL. To me, Jordan Love, you succeeded, right? Because you made it to the NFL. You get a decent paycheck. You made a couple $1 million since you've been in the league, probably. So now you have a decent amount of wealth that if you do wise with it and invest with it, it could transform the generation of your family. But you're never going to be that guy unless you drastically have a turnaround and you turn into a stud. And the odds are really stacked against you because we don't really see that happening a lot. Those anomalies of players who just turn things around and play outrageously better than they appeared before. Normally what you get is, if you've built up these habits and these practices throughout the years of playing the sport, you're going to regress to the mean. So if this is what you are, this is what you're going to be. I'm sure if he kept playing, if he kept starting, he can get a little bit better. But how long is that worth the risk? How long is that worth losing to figure that out, to realize that your ceiling isn't really all that high? It's not really all that great. In my opinion, he's a really good backup. And he can, potentially not make the mistakes if he just hands the ball off and you have the other team around you looking good. But to rely on this kid to lead us down the field and to win it all, even Matt Flynn looked fantastic. But he couldn't even win the job over Russell Wilson with the Seattle Seahawks, right? And Matt Flynn looked way better than Jordan Love on multiple occasions. So I think we just need to remember, guys, playing in the NFL is extremely difficult. And we've been spoiled to watch someone like Aaron Rodgers make it look easy. And this is the thing that I want to get out there for all those who listen. Even if you don't listen, I'm sure someone will listen at some point. You need to appreciate what you have. Appreciate it. Stop disrespecting and dogging greatness when we had it. We had it, and we had it captured like lightning in a bottle. And we saw that great man, Aaron Rodgers, every single Sunday, flawed man, but great football player, go out there and play for us and do wonders. And you saw all the sins he covered up, and look at us now. The defense is playing the best that they could play, and it's still not good enough. The special teams is playing the best they could have played, and it's still not good enough. We got a bunch of rookies out there. We blamed Aaron Rodgers last year. He had a broken thumb. He was throwing with these same rookies, and they weren't able to produce. And Aaron was able to get, 9 games or so out of them? Couldn't get that last game in. And you thought somehow this year Jordan Love was going to come in and take us to the playoffs and bring us to the promised land? No, guys. That's not how it works. This is not a fairy tale. This is the reality. When Aaron Rodgers left the NFC North, you heard it last week when the Detroit Lions beat the brakes off of us. And Montgomery, who used to play for the Bears, got traded over to the Lions. And he talked about, the one thing he talked about was what? Aaron Rodgers isn't in the NFC anymore, so it feels good to win against the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Because he single-handedly put the team on his back and he would give us by default. By default, if he's not hurt, he's given us 10 games. Right? By default, if he's not hurt, he's given us 10 games. We're not winning 10 games this season, guys. And to be honest with you, a friend texted me. He's a proud owner as well. He said it. He said, man, I hope we just lose every game from here on out so we clean house. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys from the very beginning. We need to clean house. Joe Barry, gone. Matt LaFleur, gone. And my favorite one, Brian Gutekunst, gone. These guys need to go. They're not good enough. They might be good as like the assistant defensive coordinator or the assistant, head coach as Matt LaFleur, but these guys are not good enough. Brian Gutekunst doesn't know what he's doing. It's easy to pick up Jair Alexander when you got like the 14th pick in the draft because we were trashed the season before because Rodgers got hurt. It's just not good enough, right? Broken clock is right twice a day. So, yeah, you got a few good picks, but you're not this GM guru who can build a team from the ground up and put this amazing talent for pennies on the dollars out on the field and expect for you to win. You're not Schottenheimer. You're not Shanahan. You're not Czech. You're not any of these great coaches who've been around the league. You're not McVay. You're not the next best thing. You're not like Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. They look like two guys who were given power to make these massive decisions, and you're seeing it explode in their face. And I don't think it's going to get any better. 2 of the picks Jordan Love threw tonight were his fault. He shouldn't have thrown those balls, clearly. One was tipped. That's not on him. The other one that was tipped, it was going to either be picked off or tipped. It just happened to be tipped and then picked off because the defender was riding on Christian Watson's shoulder. Then the other one, he threw the pick and he threw the ball in a place where Christian Watson couldn't get it. If anything, he needs to throw it towards the end zone near the out of bounds to give Christian Watson a chance. He doesn't place the ball properly. He doesn't even put enough air on it. Ill-advised throws. A.J. Dillon carried the rock 20 times, only 76 yards. Just all-around terrible performance. The Raiders were just giving us a chance to win. They just sat there waiting and waiting. The Raiders don't even really give the ball to Devontae Adams. We saw that. Doesn't make sense. You have somebody like him over there. He gets the ball for 4 receptions, 45 yards. He averaged 11.2 yards. I mean, throw him the ball, right? And then I know Michael Mayer was open. Jacoby Meyers, he was open as well. But man, and then Jimmy Garoppolo, guys, he's just terrible. But what's crazy is he just keeps winning. I don't get him. I really don't get him. He just seems like a good luck charm. Like he might be just a good luck charm. He has a really high win percentage, which it makes sense. But my goodness, how does he win and he still plays so trash? He had 22 completions for 31 attempts, 208 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He doesn't throw that pick, and this game is there's a big discrepancy in the score. Overall stats, we get a total of 285 yards. The Raiders put up 279. We had 175 passing yards. They had 183. Again, the game was up for the picking. It was just sitting there waiting. Rushing yards, 110 for us, 96 for the Raiders. Yards per play, we had 5 yards per play. They had 4.4. We could not stop Crosby. Like, it was outrageous. He was everywhere. Our offensive line looked like bums. And to believe that they almost had Khalil Mack and this guy, John Gruden gave up Khalil Mack, my goodness. Even Khalil Mack being a little older, he would be a menace with those two on that line. But they didn't even need Khalil. We had 18 first downs. They had 19. We were 4 for 12. They were 5 for 13 on third down. We ran 57 plays. They ran 64. They allowed 4 sacks. Still wasn't enough to get the ball back. And actually, it didn't matter, right? We get the ball back, and our offense didn't do anything with it. We only had 3 penalties for 18 yards that we gave up. They had 4 for 28. None of us lost any fumbles, but we threw those 3 picks, and that's the difference in a game. When you turn the ball over that many times, it's very difficult to win. You guys heard Matt LaFleur tonight just make excuses for Jordan Love. And, it's real easy to dog Aaron Rodgers when he's on the field. I don't remember hearing that kind of talk when Aaron made those mistakes, but for some reason this kid, he's just protecting him, wrapping him in a blanket. I mean, I don't know if he understands that if, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This will show how terrible our front office is. You give Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur 2 years max. If they perform like this 2 years back to back, the third year ain't going to get any better. This first year, I mean, you don't want it to be, atrocious and god-awful, but my goodness, if we have a terrible year, we come back and we can't get into the playoffs in year 2, they're both gone. They got to be. There got to be. No one needs 3 years of playtime on the field to show whether you're good or not, right? We're seeing right now Sean Payton and the Broncos. You can say, all right, well, we'll give Sean Payton another year. But he comes out after this year and he plays another year and it looks just as bad as it looks right now. You're gone, bro. There's no way. Long gone are the days where we just let you sit on the sidelines. What's his name? He used to coach the St. Louis Rams before they moved to Los Angeles. He just, Jeff Fisher. He coached and coached and coached. He coached for like 15 years. And they had some winning seasons early on, but they had a lot of losing seasons, and he just sat there. And this is not like Mike Tomlin, right? Mike Tomlin, he wins. He either wins or he breaks even. So he doesn't have a losing season. So I can't dog that. And it's hard to get into the playoffs over in the AFC, especially throughout the years when he was coaching the Steelers. So in the early days. So, man, this was a rough one. Taken on the chin. I just want to hear where all those fans are. Where are all the fans who said Jordan Love is it? I was going through the chats, seeing the comments in the Packers Live press conference. I was hearing a totally different story. I wanted to hear, oh, Love's got it. It's just one bad game. It's okay. No, guys. If Jordan Love, here's what you need to understand. It's just common sense. If Jordan Love was that guy, even if if he just showed hints of Aaron Rodgers, they would have moved on from Aaron. Who cares if he got the MVP? You'd have moved on. You know why? Because you could win now with the team that he had around him. But they made stupid decisions. And that's why I blame the front office for what we're seeing right now. It starts from the top down. Brian Gutekunst's got to go first. Why? Because he screwed up the signing of not trying to solidify Devontae Adams, for lying to us and signing Aaron Rodgers, talking about how he's going to be here. And he made it all about him, going back and forth with Aaron Rodgers and his nonsense with, the cell phone, and I tried to call him and all this other garbage. It's all lies. It's all lies. He's childish. He's not acting like a businessman, right? He's not trying to actually he's just an arrogant guy who's got a high position on a team, and he thinks he's doing, and I'll give him this, he thinks he's doing the right thing. But look, the proof is in the pudding. Is it working, Brian? Is it working, Brian? I know what you're going to tell yourself tonight. You're going to tell yourself it's the first year. They got to get it under their belt. We could turn it around. No, man. You're not turning this around. The Lions are taking over the NFC North, unfortunately. We're seeing it right before our eyes. You know the Vikings are beating us. The Vikings aren't as bad as they look. And you know the Packers are worse than they look. We shouldn't have even beaten the Saints. We should honestly be like 1-4 right now. That's the truth. We should be 1-4. So, I remember hearing people talk about wait till Christian Watson shows up. I remember Romeo Doubs talking that nonsense. They asked about Jordan Love, and now that we don't have Aaron Rodgers, what are you going to do? And he was being arrogant, being a young kid, a punk, sounding really stupid. Where's Romeo Doubs? Where's Christian Watson? No, Romeo Doubs out there dropping passes. That's what I saw. Let's wait for Christian Watson to come back. Well, he comes back. He drops passes. He's not, he can't even stay healthy long term. Godspeed be with him. I know he's not hurt now, but who knows how long that's going to last. It's just, we need to be humble, guys. We need to be humble. Why are you talking trash when you haven't done anything? Put your money where your mouth is. And you're not going out there and you're not producing. So you know what happens? You get kicked to the curb. In the NFL, you got to produce. And if you know, and you guys know, I want this team to win, right? Because I don't want Green Bay, the Packers, to move on from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We can't keep losing. That's not going to help us. That's not conducive of a team that is actually going to go the distance. If we keep playing like this, who knows what happens to our organization? We can't go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years like this. This is unacceptable football. It's very unfortunate. I told you guys the writing was on the wall. I am a broken record. I don't care if I'm annoying. If I'm annoying, don't listen. I don't have that many views anyway. So that's fine, at least for now. But I'm telling you, I said it here first on Just Another Cheesehead podcast. I'm not an expert, but I've been watching my team for multiple decades now. And I'm telling you, I know when we got a winner, chicken dinner, and I know when we throw out them stinkers. I've been there when Brett Favre was throwing picks, and we get so angry. Our team played so well, and he throw it up, and you're like, oh, my gosh. Again, Favre, what are you doing, man? And they would just, he's a gunslinger. He's a gunslinger. He just likes to take risks. And, yeah, he'd throw a ball in a hole the size of like a, 6 inches by 6 inches. I get it, but I don't need you to try that now. And then I was angry at Aaron Rodgers. Some of you might be surprised. I loved Brett Favre. I still do till this day. He's no Aaron Rodgers, but I had a lot of hate for Aaron Rodgers. I was like, who is this punk kid? You can't throw Brett Favre away for some kid named Aaron Rodgers. He don't even look like he knows how to throw a football. I remember his little Weasley-looking face. And look at him now. Slick hair, slick back. He got it cut now. That's a better look over there in New Jersey with the New York Jets. But I didn't like him. And then he shut me up. He said, Lem, just watch. He said, Lem, RELAX, relax. I'm better than Brett Favre. And I was like, well, you got to show me. And he showed me. And he shut me up. Jordan Love's not going to shut me up. Tell me a play that you saw this season so far that said, wow, this kid's got talent. This kid's got something special. No, this kid's a quarterback who's a backup in the league, right? He's more talented than you and I. So, when we dog these guys, we have to put it into proper perspective. When I say a guy's trash or he's not good, compared to you and me, he's outstanding. But we're not getting paid to play in the NFL, right? We just watch. We pay their checks. So I don't look at it as a knock at all if you really think about it. Jordan Love, you suck in comparison to all the talented men who play your sport. So you 2,000 guys? So out of 2,000 guys, you're at the bottom. You near the bottom. You might not even be at the bottom. You might be in the midway point. Out of 2,000, you're right around, 1,100. Okay. That's not that big of a deal. Now look at me. If I'm playing behind that line, I'm not making the top 2K. So it's not a disrespect. It's not a knock. It's just to put it in the right perspective. At this moment, you haven't proven enough to be the man for the job. We already know about Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. They should be gone. Barry, get out of here. Let's clean house. Let's tank. Let's get some great picks. Let's get rid of these coaches. Let's get rid of the GM. Mark Murphy, if you want to keep your job, that's what I would be doing. Get rid of these guys. Let's start all over. Keep some of the young talent that we have. Get some high draft picks. Load up. We need to get a new head coach. That's probably the hardest thing is you go, all right, we get rid of Matt LaFleur. Who else do we get? Oh, man. That's a great question because I don't see any great coaches out there right now. I mean, if I do a quick search, NFL coaches available. So, I mean, and like this list is probably low, but right, you're just going to probably hire a coach who, you might hire a coach who is currently on a team right now. So maybe you pick up somebody from the Eagles, right? Dan Quinn, he's coached a lot. He's over in Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys defense is really not that good. I mean, look who they played. Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. Yeah. And then you got Brian Johnson, the Eagles offensive coordinator. I don't know. Eric Bieniemy. Now, to me, Eric Bieniemy is proven. He's over here playing for the Commanders as the offensive coordinator. He's turning the Commanders around. They had a few decent performances. They did lose to the Bears. But Eric Bieniemy, he seems like a really good candidate. That would be somebody that I would reach out to. He's an offensive coordinator. Then you got Brian Callahan for the Bengals offensive coordinator. Nah, not that impressed. The defensive coordinator of the Bengals is Lou Anarumo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then the Panthers defensive coordinator. I mean, who's trying to hire this guy? The Panthers are terrible. I'm sure the defense might be decent, but no. So, I mean, right now, available guys that I think, from the list we just went through, Eric Bieniemy. That's about it. Dan Quinn, he's a familiar face. So he's coached in the NFL before. He's going to put a good defense out on the field. But, yeah, that's probably about it. For now, we'll see as the season goes on. I don't like hiring these new guys because that's how we got Matt LaFleur. That's how we got him, right? Like, he was in the Sean McVay tree and, nepotism is so annoying, right? It's like if I know a guy and I know the guy who knows the guy who knows the other guy who knows the other guy who knows Sean McVay, they might think I'm the next best head coach. And they give me the job. So, and then the worst part about it is Brian Gutekunst hired him because he wanted a low-budget Sean McVay. He didn't want to pay the guy that he knew was, who's worth it. He was like, no, let me get him on the cheap. It's like, bro, change your philosophy. You're seeing all these teams. You saw the Bucks do it. You saw the Rams do it. And I tend to think the Jets would do it if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. You could put a team together. You go into the free agency, and if you got the veterans and the talent, they go out there and they win. So I don't want to bore you guys anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing us lose, and I think this is going to get old really quick. So I don't even know how many more podcasts we're going to do if we keep losing like this. I'm just going to get on the podcast and just say I'm right again, right? Like that's so I might as well say it now. I'm right. And all the people who doubted me or disagree with me, they were wrong. We suck. We need a clean house. And guess what? I want what you want. I want us to win. As much as I might be annoying you and you don't like how I'm talking down to you, just remember, we're both Packer fans. I want to win too. But I want to win legitimately, right? You see the 49ers? They're probably going to go undefeated this season. Look at their schedule. When they win, there's no questioning. When they win, you go, wait, their defense is legitimate. The special teams is legitimate. And oh my God, they put 42 points up on the Dallas Cowboys. You know that the 49ers are averaging more than 30 points a game right now? And their defense is holding teams. They're dangerous. It's like the only game on their schedule, barring injury, that looks sketchy is when they play the Eagles. And the Eagles, even though they're undefeated, they haven't shown enough to say that they're dominant, right? There's some games that they just barely got out of. So the 49ers look dangerous. They look like they're definitely coming out of the NFC. I don't know what's going on with the AFC, but man, if the 49ers can stay healthy, there's a good chance no one's beating them. And I hate saying that because I don't like the 49ers because they took us out of multiple opportunities to go to the Super Bowl. So that's unfortunate. But I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm just another cheesehead. So we're going to call this short right here. We appreciate you guys listening to Just Another Cheesehead podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching me on YouTube. If you're watching or if you're listening to me on Twitch, make sure you hit me up with a follow. I greatly appreciate it. I might start going on Rumble and Kick. So if you're watching this on one of those, if I decide to upload, do what you got to do. I'm the Lemesis, your nemesis, but you can call me Lem. Thank you again. And as always, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, you should get to know him. It'll be the best decision you ever make in your life. Look up the salvation prayer, ask him to come into your life. Again, it'll be the best decision you'll ever make. Peace, love, and happiness. Believe it or not, go Pack Go, right? It's okay. You guys have a great night. I'm out.